this, man.
Funny joke just to get some play, then you try to make a move and she says no way.
Oh, man.
I dig it.
All right. So, I don't know why Kathy Ireland came up last week. Well, she did. And then I saw a snippet on YouTube. I guess the computer's listening to me.
Yep.
Of her appearance in Naked Gun comedy. So then I was like, okay, what time of year was Kathy Ireland at her peak? And that cover was 1989. And so I was like, okay, let's go and see what music came out in 1989. And each of those tracks that you just listened to were on the Billboard Top 100 in 1989. What a good time, huh?
Yes. Oh, man, listen. Again, let me remind you, since you seem to have forgotten AOH, about Kathy Ireland, why she was brought up in the last live stream is because we talked about, the entertainment factor of watching basketball, and you talked and brought up about watching a good-looking woman playing basketball and missing all of these shots, and someone brought up Kathy Ireland in the chat, so I shouted them out for bringing up Kathy Ireland, a name that we hadn't heard since the late 80s, early 90s, when, like you mentioned earlier, she was in a heyday. Once again, man, we are back. Me and the Czar, the video footage. Shout out to all you guys that are already out there in the chat, man, that continue to come through and support our live streams, even though we talk about funny, goofy stuff sometimes, and we go off topic and we rant about, angry old guys ranting about stuff. I see you guys out there. Shout out to Mountain Skies, Roxanne 23, Mr. Chicago Bulls 96, Renee 43, of course, Rock Stefani, Go Fly, Chris Garcia, Purebred Blood YT. Shout out to you. Shout out to Meg for coming through as always. Hey, Dallas is in the building. We haven't seen Dallas in a while. Speck of Fantasy. Mick Zuggins is in the building as always. Callie Young. Shout out to Fancy. Thank you for coming through as always. King Speech Row. Of course, the real Siberius. Candle Guy FX. John G 5674, Roland Curtis, Rakim the Dream, Import, Dakota Brock. Shout out to all you guys that continue to come through. Old school NBA fan. You guys know the deal, man. Let's roll.
Read McZuggins.
It's 2025. Annie is not okay. She is not okay. Annie, you're okay, Annie. Quantum Answer, what up?
Yeah, John, I'm gonna say as great as Kathy was, I think Elle McPherson was probably a little bit more formative for me during those years. I don't know. pretty good either way.
I remember there's the movie Jumanji. They redid Jumanji with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. It's called Welcome to the Jungle or whatever, right? And in the movie, they bring up Cindy Crawford. And, they're talking about how this guy was still thinking about, like, the 90s when it was, like, the 2020 or 2000s or whatever. It's hilarious. They brought up Cindy Crawford, though.
Cindy Crawford, right? Yeah. Yeah, man, she was big shit for a while.
And yeah, she was.
Yeah. So, speaking of being angry old men, I got to tell you, I'm very lucky, very, very privileged person because I met the most important people on the planet today. And then I met the next 17 most important people on the planet on my way home. Just loud, obnoxious human beings, and every conversation is necessary for everyone within a half mile to hear. And so I met a lot of important people today. I don't know about you, but wow, what a great day for me.
Whoa, man, before we came on, I mentioned I'm riding high again on another Sunday afternoon out here on the East Coast, man. Like I said, every Sunday I coach flag football, my son's team, and it was a tough game today, man. We pulled out another victory, 14-10. My son had a game-saving interception in the end zone after he had a safety, and I was flipping out on him on the field, man. And it made it a 14-10 game. Like I said, he saved the game, came through with the game-saving interception in the end zone. He also had a touchdown run, man. The kids played great again, man. Like I said, they've been getting better every week, man. They're always hustling. Like I said, I'm so proud of these kids, man. I have a great time every Sunday with them, man. So like I said, another great Sunday riding high, man.
Meg, it's been watching the 91 season. Yeah. That super team was not that super. Which is that's what you and Carcino were going back and forth about. Like you and Carcino have something going on. We'll get to that in a second. I want to say welcome Dallas back to the show. I haven't seen you here in a while, Dallas. Got some things on your chest, not chestnuts, I hope. We'll get to you. We'll have you call in.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we might as well get to the Carcino thing. I know I saw a little back and forth. Isn't Carcino on our side of things usually, or what's going on there?
Well, listen, shout out and much respect to all the people out there that have been watching my videos, my back and forth with Carcino for Life. And I don't know him personally, and I've never been subscribed to his channel. I've seen some of his content. Like I said, when I first came on YouTube, he was one of the channels that was coming up for me as, suggested content. He's a big time platform, has a big time platform on YouTube. I believe over 200 and something thousand subscribers. And yes, AOH, you're on the money. As far as the LeBron James side of things, yes, we all see eye to eye on that. Carcino agrees with basically everything that we talk about with the LeBron James stuff. So yes, as far as that goes, me and Carcino see eye to eye. The problem I have with Carcino, or the problem I guess that's developed here, is what he said on a live stream that he did maybe like a week or so ago in relation to the Pistons in 1989 and Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. And I don't have a problem with Carcino's opinion. I have absolutely no problem with his opinion if he believes that the 1989 Pistons are the greatest team of all time and that Michael Jordan's Bulls can't touch them. I have no problem with that opinion. My problem always was what, guys, is the explanation for these people's opinions, how they're backing up their opinion. And when you back your opinion up with emotions and you start making claims that Michael Jordan was a manufactured champion, that the Bulls were made champions by the NBA, he actually called Michael Jordan and the Bulls propaganda, media propaganda. That was the exact wordage he used. So when I hear you say things like that, the LeBron James stuff has nothing to do with this. This now becomes a factual conversation because now you're trying to crap on Michael Jordan and say he could never beat the Pistons. The only reason he beat them is because the NBA wanted his team to win. And I do not agree with it. I think he's a fool for saying that because in his live stream, he said, I challenge anybody to come and tell me what Chicago Bulls team is beating the 89 Pistons.
So was he saying that like at the beginning or for all 6 rings? Or just
he says any Chicago Bulls team, you pick any Bulls team, they can't touch the 89 Pistons. And like I said, if he thinks that, that's great. He can think that. You can think the 86 Celtics are the greatest team of all time. I've never made a claim that the 96 Bulls or the 91 Bulls or the 98 Bulls or the 92 Bulls are the greatest team of all time. I've never made a claim on my channel about this stuff. I've said that I think that some of these Bulls teams are some of the greatest teams of all time, but I've never made a claim about this. It doesn't matter. You can have a favorite team. I said, what? You must be able to explain it. If you believe that the 89 Pistons could beat any one of those championship Bulls teams, that's great. Explain it to me. Because what I said to him is this. If you're telling me that Michael Jordan's not that great, he's only manufactured through the media, through the NBA and the referees, and they wanted the Bulls to win, and he wasn't really that great. The only way he got past them is because the referees helped him or whatever he's trying to claim. If you're going to say those kinds of things, and I look at the 1989 series, and I talked about it in a video, the Bulls lost to the Pistons in 1989, the team that he's saying is the greatest of all time. And in that series, they lost 4-2. The Bulls were up 2-1. And going into Chicago for game 4, the Pistons shot 45 free throws and the Bulls shot 27. So if you're going to sit there and tell me that the media and the NBA wanted Michael Jordan to ascend into a champion, then why would they not give Michael Jordan the help when he's up 2-1 in Chicago in 1989? And somehow, some way, the Pistons had almost 20 more free throws than Michael Jordan's team. In that series, Michael Jordan was called for the most fouls on both teams, more than Bill Laimbeer, more than Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, John Sally. He was called for 25,000 that series, more than anyone else. So once again, if Michael Jordan's able to win 2 games off the 89 Pistons and his best teammate statistically is Craig Hodges, you're telling me that Michael Jordan with the 91 Bulls and a developed Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and some of these other complimentary guys, they can't beat the 89 Pistons? That's laughable.
What's the propaganda part? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, the NBA made Michael Jordan work his way up. So it's not like he was the chosen child and they immediately granted him success. So I don't understand the propaganda. Couldn't the NBA have decided that they liked Isaiah Thomas and gone that direction? What was Michael Jordan that much more appealing and charismatic? I don't understand the propaganda argument.
Right, and that's what my problem is. I don't have a problem with his opinion. If anyone thought I had a problem with his opinion, I don't give a damn who he thinks the greatest team of all time is. I don't give a damn. Make your claim as to why. If you just want to say you just think they're the greatest team of all time, that's fine. You sound stupid, because when he tried to come back, is he did a 2-hour live response to me. And his response, he kept arguing about me not picking a team, right? And he's like, oh, you did not pick a team. You didn't pick any team. You didn't answer my question. And I laughed at that notion. And I said in my response to that, dude, the burden's on you to prove your point. You're in the minority here. I don't know when all of a sudden in the world we came a time where the people that are in the minority way of thinking have all of the power and the majority has to convert and conform to the minority way of thinking. This is insane. That's why I said everyone in society now is special. Everyone wants their own rights, their own things, everything for them and conform to their uniqueness. Just because you think the 89 Pistons are the greatest team of all time and the Bulls can't touch them, that's a minority way of thinking. And I polled 1 million people right now and I asked them, are the 89 Pistons, not the Chicago Bulls, are the 89 Pistons the greatest team of all time? I guarantee you 90% of the people are going to say no, they're not. So the burden's on Carcino to prove his point. You're in the minority. I don't have to prove a crazy person wrong. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. That's like these people with the flat earth stuff, and they think that their minority way of thinking, we have to prove them wrong. They think that all of a sudden, you have to prove me. No, dude, you have to prove your point. And the burden's on Carcino here.
I got to tell you, this is foolish enough that I'm bored with it. I don't think it deserves.
That's what I said. I said, this dude's really standing on it and trying to die on this hill. You gonna die on that hill, Carcino, and talk about Michael Jordan ain't earned it? He tries to make it seem like Michael Jordan did not earn it out there on the basketball court. That's laughable, man.
How's this even on his mind? Is he getting
he's
paychecks?
an Isaiah Thomas fanboy. So he loves Isaiah Thomas, and he has to stand up and do all this stuff because of Isaiah Thomas, man. It's crazy.
I see. Interesting. Is he a Detroit guy? Is he from Detroit?
He's from Chicago. He's a Detroit Pistons fan because Isaiah Thomas from Chicago. He's a Bears fan, apparently. I don't know what he's doing. Why would you knock and tear down a Chicago Bulls team that helped your city out? He claims Michael Jordan didn't do nothing for the city of Chicago. But like you said, we can move on from his topic because I hit him with the facts. I educated him and his fan base, and they know this. This is nothing more than that. That's what this was about. The LeBron James stuff is whatever.
So let me read a super. Before I get to the new super, Mr. Shanny had commented that I didn't read it last week. I think I put it up on the screen, but sometimes when Robin's on a roll, can't always fit in all of them. But Mr. Shanny had asked if I was going to do any more reaction videos. And he specifically said 93Z. Well, I just happened to watch Eddie TV. And so I reacted to that. And I see Eddie TV in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live.
Oh, for real? Yo, shout out to Eddie TV. I did a video on the Marcellus Wiley stuff, and I meant to shout him out in that video, and I completely forgot. And I normally always shout the people out. So shout out to Eddie TV and the work that the video that he did, man. Thank you very much. Much respect to you, man.
There is a question to you from Beer and Joints.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Beer and Joints, man. That's a hell of a combination right there. Robin, when will Dart, Hoop God, Rex, OG, and Judge come back to the show? Yo, that's a great question. Dart has some technical difficulties. with his channel. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's still on YouTube or if he's on the platform. Hoop God, I don't know what Hoop God's going on with Hoop God. I know he's very busy. He had just started like a new career, I believe, Hoop God. So much respect to Hoop God and the work that he's been putting in his personal life. You said on his professional career. Rex, Rex, man. If Rex ain't with Dart, we probably won't get Rex. OG, man, that's another great one. I don't know about OG. I mean, you bring up some great names, Beer and Joints, and Judge, man. I haven't heard from them in a minute. Judge and OG, those are some of the originals from back in the day. Yeah, shout out to all those guys, man.
I was going to say, I don't even know the last two.
Yeah, they're from the original crew. Back when it was just me, Rex, Dart, NNB. You had OG on there. You had my man, the bearded Minnesotan, and you had Judge SP. So shout out to those guys. Thank you, Beer and Joints, for mentioning them. We try to get guys to come on, but Sundays is hard for a lot of people. And I get that, even for you guys. That's why we and AOH appreciate you guys coming to the live streams, because Sunday is a day for people to relax, chill with their families. Maybe you guys want to watch football right now, not listen to me and AOH talk about stuff. So that's why it's very humbling that you guys continue to come through and spend some time with us on a Sunday. Like I said, either the morning or the afternoon, whatever it is for you guys. So it's hard to get guys to come out on Sundays anymore. And like I said, Dart has some technical difficulties, man, and it kind of jacked us up, man. It really did.
And another super coming through. Was there a time you guys respected or liked LeBron?
That's a great question.
I feel like I've answered it quite a few times, because one of the fanboy go-tos is that LeBron was hated, and LeBron, whiny bitch himself, comes on and says, "Oh, to be honest with you, everybody wanted me to fail," when everybody wanted him to succeed. Just amazing, the whiny shit that comes out of his mouth.
That's okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'll summarize. No, I was excited to see what he was capable of, and I actually wanted to see someone who could take on Kobe, which turned out he wasn't capable of doing. But I thought with his size and athleticism that maybe he could, be the one to do that. And I would say that I particularly stopped liking LeBron when I watched him stop trying on the basketball court, in 2009 and 2010. It was before Miami. It started before Miami. And it wasn't because I didn't even know he had chosen one tattooed on himself and all that crap back then. I didn't know all that egotistical crap. So that wasn't even playing a factor in it.
You said some good stuff, AOH, right there. And shout out to Xavier the God for asking that. That was a great question. I don't get asked that question often on my platform. Maybe people do, and maybe I've never seen it. But when that's a loaded question. When we think about LeBron James, if I think about LeBron James, and we talk about a word like respect, and we talk about liking somebody, I told you don't have to necessarily like somebody to respect them. The thing about LeBron James when he first came in the league is he had all the hype. So a lot of people didn't like him because of the hype, but I didn't really have a feeling any way about him. It was, when he came in the league, and you think about it, in 2004, we had just watched Michael Jordan finish playing, right? He left for the Wizards last year. So we had that kind of whole thing going on. But the NBA, in my opinion, was still in really good shape, because even though Michael Jordan was leaving, as Wizards Jordan, you still had Kobe there. You still had Dirk Nowitzki and Shaq, right? And you had the Allen Iversons and the Jason Kidds, right? And the Vince Carters and the Steve Nashes. You had the Kevin Garnetts and the Tim Duncans. Like, you had some really great players that had personalities, that had unique games, that had swag to them. You had these kinds of guys. So yeah, Michael Jordan leaving, right? The NBA really never found that again. But the NBA is still in a great place. So when LeBron James comes in, I don't think I looked at him like, hey, we need this guy to lift up the league or be that dude, because other guys were that dude. I hate when I hear Nick Wright and some of these guys like Shannon Sharp and Kendrick Perkins. They make it as if LeBron James has been dominating the league since he came in the first year. Oh, LeBron James been the best place since he came in. No, he was not. He was not that dude, because the NBA had other great players that were at their peaks, that were doing things out there, that were impacting the game, that were winning. So he wasn't the best player in the league since he came in. I think that LeBron James, over the years, wearing number 23, but not really carrying himself like a Michael Jordan, not playing like a Michael Jordan, I don't care about that, carrying himself not like a Michael Jordan, and some of the great players. And like you said, when you start making comments in 2011, you make a weird decision, you make a whole spectacle, and you start telling the common folks they got to go back to their boring lives. And like I said, you just don't show that you have that same level of heart to go through the grind. You leave teams. And listen, I even tried to give LeBron James a second chance in like 2015, 16, because I remember rooting for Richard Jefferson because of his New Jersey Nets days, and he went back and played for the Cavaliers in 2016. And I was like, hey, maybe this guy, Richard Jefferson, could be an impactful player or key member for a championship team. And I'm trying to watch LeBron James, and I'm watching a lot of these games. And like I said, it becomes very hard to do, hard to get behind someone like LeBron James. So I was never really a fan of LeBron James, but I lost respect for LeBron James a long time ago. They said probably around that Miami Heat time when he made those comments the way that he did.
I just hadn't. I don't think I'd seen anything that narcissistic as to not only not just tell your team in a professional manner what's coming because you supposedly love Cleveland and everything, but to just hold out and like turn your decision into an event. That by itself, I mean, that tells you how much times have changed. Now everything's self-glorification. But then ESPN actually showed it. And he's sitting there referring to himself in the third person with fucking makeup dripping off of him. Yep. The whole thing. And then to weaken his own conference and join up with other powerhouses. So the whole thing. But like I wasn't watching with as critical of an eye. I think in 2007. I think from an outside perspective, I felt a little bit bad for him going up against the Spurs. Now I've analyzed it and realized he wasn't that good. In fact, he was really bad a lot of the time. And if you aren't watching with a critical eye, it tells you how easily anyone can be influenced by what you're being told by the announcers.
Right. And think about it, with that same question and what you're saying, and we talk about, the things that LeBron James has done for the NBA. What has he done for the NBA? He's taken away from the NBA. When we talk about the All-Star game, you think that there's not a lot of people out there, myself included, but true basketball fans? How often do we talk about the All-Star game, guys, and what it used to mean? Yo, the All-Star, listen, how many times did we say this? The All-Star game was special. People think I'm being an old head. Oh, Robin's being nostalgic. No, I'm telling you guys, the All-Star game meant a lot. It was a big deal, not only to the fans, it meant a lot to the players. Those guys wanted to go out there and compete against the East Coast or the West Coast. There was a big deal there. The slam dunk contest was prestigious. It meant something. All of a sudden, the All-Star game becomes a joke. You think about someone like Kobe Bryant and him attacking LeBron James in the All-Star game, and you think about how these guys approached something like that. That way of thinking is gone now. Now they ask, why do I have to play in the All-Star game? When back in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, these guys said, I'm not missing the All-Star game.
Dallas says the 2000 NBA All-Star team only had one person over age 30. I did not know that.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I mean, listen, and when you think about the NBA from the late 90s into the early 2000s, I've often told people, when people say that, the NBA got really defensive in the late 90s, early 2000s, it's not just about the defense, being different or being ratcheted up or being more physical. To me, my opinion, what happened, it was a combination of things. You had guys playing defense in the late 90s into the early 2000s. You had elite defensive players from the late 90s into the early 2000s, right? You had the Kevin Garnett's and the Tim Duncans there, right? You had the Marcus Camby's and the Ben Wallace's in the early 2000s. You had the Dikembe Mutombo there in the late 90s still that was highly effective. Gary Payton was still an elite defensive player in the late 90s into the early 2000s. You had the Jason Kidds. So we had all these guys of elite level defensive players. But when you combine that with the way that the NBA was drafting players in the late 90s and the early 2000s, they were starting to draft guys off of potential. So the guys that they were drafting, they weren't necessarily NBA ready. So to me, the game it was the offense wasn't caught up to the defense yet. The defense was greater than the offensive players were, because you had guys that were coming in that were just doing or being there off athleticism. So you had a lot of these guys that were high flyers or slashers, but they didn't really have fundamentals yet. Their games weren't really fully developed because they're drafting these guys after 1 or 2 years in school and based off of what they can become. That's what you had happening in the late 90s into the early 2000s, which to me developed into the era being the way it was.
I don't know if that's correct. I'm looking at 2000, and that had Karl Malone and John Stockton on it. They both had to have been over 30 by then.
What, the 2000 NBA All-Star team?
Yeah.
I don't know who was on the All-Star team in 2000. I don't even know who was on the team in 2000. I know, on like what team? On both teams? On both West and East?
Yeah, I'm looking at all of them, and those are the two oldest people that stand out to me.
Well, yeah, they were definitely old, past 30 by then. They were damn near 40 at that point. They were probably like 37, 38 years old at that point.
Maybe I didn't read the thing correctly.
He said one player, right? Oh, with the All-Star team or the NBA All-NBA team? But that's to me what I think what the culmination was. Like I said, in the late 90s and the early 2000s, with some of these players that were coming in the league, like I said, they weren't necessarily ready to go against that kind of defense yet, that kind of physicality. And like I said, some of these players that were crazy athletic.
So, Real Siberius with a super chat, thank you, says, I came back to the NBA indifferent to LeBron. He ruined it the first game I watched him play in. He flopped, whined, and had terrible fundamentals.
Yeah.
And that's not his rookie year. It's just the year that you came back, right? The first. So it's not necessarily, he's not necessarily talking about his rookie season, I think.
But that's a great point. And I think that the LeBron James side of things, his fan base, they don't want to take ownership for what LeBron James actually did for the league, what he did to the league. They don't want to own up to this stuff. Because if you ask them straight up, what has LeBron James done to uplift the league and to push the game forward? You can't put your finger on anything. There's nothing you can say, hey, we got this because of LeBron James in a positive. But on the flip side, we could point to the load managing. Because it's not like LeBron James never load manages and he would say, hey, man, LeBron James been the face of the league all these years. He never load managed. He was going out there giving the effort. We can't say that about LeBron James. So the face of the league is load managing and doing it in a really weird way, man. This wasn't the Spurs in the late 90s and the 2000s when their team is making deep playoff runs every single season for 10, 15, 20 years straight. And they're like, yo, we got to start sitting out Duncan or Ginobili or one of these guys every game here and there because we're playing 20 postseason games every season. That's not what LeBron James is doing, man. Your team ain't even making the play-in. Your team is getting bounced out in the first round, and you out there lollygagging for 47, 55, 65 games, and then you'll make an All-NBA third team, and then they'll promote you when you out there doing nothing on the court. You show me Tim Duncan being negative 54 on the court, load managing.
I want to read It's Not That Serious with a nice, fat, juicy super.
Oh, wow.
Salute to my favorite duo on YouTube. Keep up the great content, fellas. Also to AOH, man, your content is necessary to be on YouTube to keep challenging the lies and asinine narratives. I know YouTube is giving you a hard time. Just try to keep pushing. Yeah, well, let's put it this way. I understand why YouTube as a bigger delivery system is important to put the truth out there, but it's not being delivered. And I'm at least putting things over onto Patreon, and I'm going to continue to encourage people not to be a member on YouTube. I'm going to phase out my membership. If you want to support me, go to Patreon or go to PayPal, which, by the way, you know what, maybe Dart just beat all of us to the punch, because didn't he try moving to Patreon after YouTube shut him down?
Yeah, I believe he did. He actually might be on Patreon. Maybe you guys know. Maybe you guys follow Dart on Patreon or something. I'm not sure. I told you, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people have all these platforms. I can't do it. I can't have multiple platforms. If it doesn't work out for me on YouTube, I'm afraid that you'll never see me again. Maybe, guys. I don't know. So I don't know. Like I said, that's why I never get too involved or wrapped up in money or how much money I made or didn't make or how many subscribers or views I get every month or every week. Not really wrapped up in those kinds of things. To me, it's just great to be on this platform. Like I said, to be making videos for people to actually know who I am out here in the community and put some respect on my channel. You know, when I had this back and forth with this guy Carcino, he at one point in the beginning, he acted as if he didn't know who I was. And the funny thing about that to me is I'm not saying that my channel's big or I'm special or I'm someone important or any of those kinds of things. But people know who I am because my voice is loud. And once again, I'm putting out the facts here and my content is consistent. I'm dropping videos, not maybe every single day, but I'm dropping out a lot of content. I have over 3,000 videos. But he said in his live stream that people were hitting him up, telling him to respond to me. So if that's the case, then you had to know who the hell I am. He came on the live stream acting as if he had to look up my channel to see what my name actually was. And then he tried to make it seem as if I'm a fitness guy that talks about sports. Nah, my man, I do both. That's why it's called sports and fitness rants. That's why I call them a fool and a clown. Don't act like you don't know me, man. You know who the hell I am. Your people are telling you about me. Don't act stupid out here.
So Rise Above Anything says, Paul Pierce said LeBron James can rebound like Rodman. Shake my head. I mean, that's not just asinine, but I don't know if I've seen LeBron rebound like Rodman once. And I've looked at a lot of footage. It would stand out to me because I would probably get upset. It'd be like, oh shit, he actually has one good rebound to his name.
You know,
have you? We're gonna play the 2020 rebounds from Game 3 today, by the way, because that shit's got me traumatized.
I saw that video. Listen, LeBron James is a mediocre rebounder, guys. If we're talking about rebounding, then we have to look at your positional rebounding ability because rebounding is different for every position. You don't expect certain positions to get certain amount of rebounds or to impact the game rebounding. That's why when we see guards like Jason Kidd, the Russell Westbrooks, someone like Fat Lever, you know, some of these point guards that can rebound, that's why they stand out because rebounding for a guard is not something that you often see them being able to impact. When you think about the positional rebounding of LeBron James, I've said this many times, LeBron James, they'll tell you, is the greatest all-around player of all time. He's not even a top 5 rebounder at his position. But they'll call him an elite level rebounder. LeBron James, at the size that he is, at the athleticism that he has, to average 7 rebounds a game for your career. It's not just that. Look at the offensive rebounding or lack of offensive rebounding production from LeBron James. It took this man like almost I forgot how many 100 games that Michael Jordan to pass him in offensive rebounds. It took this man like 10 more seasons. It's laughable. He cannot rebound the ball.
We see Steph Curry stealing rebounds from LeBron James.
Yep. Steph Curry gives more effort at rebounding than LeBron James does. We're talking about consistent effort. This is why LeBron James' numbers are so pathetic because you're not consistently hustling on the glass. You're standing around. I tell you guys all the time, look at some of the great rebounders just at the small forward position. You're talking about the Elgin Baylors. You're talking about the Larry Birds. You're talking about the Dominique Wilkins, the Dr. J's. Scottie Pippen to me was a better rebounder than LeBron James at that position. We're talking about guys like Dominique Wilkins to me was a better rebounder at that position. Sean Marion at that position was a better rebounder than LeBron James. These are just some guys at the top of my head that I know that I can think of that were greater and more effective rebounders than LeBron James just at that position.
Eboticus says he wanted to be the next Jordan so bad he couldn't stand it. I always thought it was lame, and he should have tried making his own legacy. Yeah, I mean, I think it started that way. I think he realized he couldn't do it and decided it was fine to do it a different way, which, interestingly enough, ESPN followed suit. When LeBron cowered and went to Miami, ESPN changed their tune and said, there's nothing wrong with doing it this way.
No, but that's a great point, though, because if you want to be like Michael Jordan, I always said, I don't care if LeBron James played like Michael Jordan. None of us cared about that The same thing with Kobe Bryant. I know a lot of people didn't like Kobe Bryant originally because they thought that, they didn't like him trying to imitate or copy Michael Jordan, right? We get all this stuff, right? So some people were turned off originally. But the thing that earned Kobe Bryant or earned the people over about Kobe Bryant is they saw how authentic he really was, though. This was authentic for him. It wasn't him trying to be a wannabe, right? He did it like he wanted to be like Michael Jordan, but at the same time, he did it his way, and his work ethic and the way that he went about his business, people respected this. So he earned that respect, not only from the fans, but from Michael Jordan himself. LeBron James copying the chalk toss, wearing number 20, not even Kobe Bryant wore number 23. When you do all those things and you talk about how Michael Jordan was Black Jesus when you were growing up and how all of these things, Michael Jordan was all this to you, but then you go out there on the court and you do everything the opposite of the way he carried himself, it's really sad, like I said.
McZuggins with a super. Thank you, sir. LeBron James has 159 million followers. Average viewership 1.53 per game, a million per game. Roughly 0.97% of his followers watch him play. No witnesses. Yeah, it's an interesting thing happening with human beings. Happy to blindly continue with their cultish behavior. I don't understand how belonging to a cult became so important that you don't care about reality.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I saw someone in the chat earlier put something about Too Raw for TV did a video about some comments that Kendrick Perkins made about Derrick Rose being bigger in Chicago than Michael Jordan. And listen, I'm not from Chicago. I wasn't born there. I don't have my ear to the street, so to speak, in Chicago. But I do know about what was going on in Chicago in the 90s. And there's never been any athlete bigger in the history of sports, in my opinion, than Michael Jordan was in the 90s, not only in Chicago, but in America, man. This dude was everywhere. Everywhere he went, people followed him. He couldn't go anywhere. So if they want to say Derrick Rose is bigger in Chicago, I don't know if that's accurate in the sense of what they've meant to Chicago. But yes, if Derrick Rose is popular, it's because of Derrick Rose and what he did. It has nothing to do with him being bigger than Michael Jordan to me, because Derrick Rose was never on that level, ever on that level.
Derrick Rose was a battler. People liked the way he played.
Right. So, he's earned the respect, Derrick Rose. He gets mad love in Chicago. But Michael Jordan, remember, is Chicago. Whenever people think about the Chicago Bulls, they think Michael Jordan, not Derrick Rose. What he did for the Chicago Bulls. I'm not saying that Michael Jordan down in the streets with the community. I don't know what Derrick Rose does. Maybe Derrick Rose is down in the streets with the common people, putting the work, doing stuff. Derrick Rose is a very well-respected basketball player in person. So no disrespect to him. But to compare what Derrick Rose means to Chicago versus what Michael Jordan meant to the city, it's like I said, it's not comparable.
Rise Above Anything says, what I love about your channel, Robin, is that you keep it 100%. And Lomo, what's up, Lomo? I don't know what is happening with all these ex-players. Everyone wants to be as good or better than MJ or Kobe, Pierce, McGrady, KD, Pistol, Shaw, Draymond, better than Rodman. And a happy belated birthday to you from last week.
Yeah, shout out to Lomo12 for coming through, because that is such a true statement when we talk about these ex-players and how they're talking on microphones these days. I get it that these guys are professionals. They have a lot of pride, right? And you have to have a certain level of confidence in your abilities and who you are to make it to the highest level. We all understand this kind of stuff. But when you get on a microphone and you start talking about how great you were, when you start trying to rewrite history or pat yourself on the back, that's when people are forced to actually put perspective and context behind what you're trying to say. Right? When you think about Scottie Pippen, Isaiah Thomas, Paul Pierce, who just came out and made some crazy comments of, about he's just as great of a scorer as a Michael Jordan, or that if you take away Jordan's athleticism, he's more skilled than Jordan and all this other stuff. It's really sad and laughable. Instead of these guys just being humbled and them being like, hey, you know what? I was a great scorer, or, I felt like I could do X, Y, Z, but I don't really know if I'm on the level of some of these guys. If you say something like that, then what that does is it forces people to then talk you up, because you're putting them in a position to say, hey, man, well, don't shortchange yourself or X, Y, Z. You could do this better than this guy, or I thought you did this better than this guy. And now people are the ones talking about you. not you talking up yourself. Because like I said, now that forces us to come out there and set the record straight, you're nowhere close to a Michael Jordan. You're nowhere on his skill level. You're nowhere on him fundamentally wise. And like I said, for you to put yourself in that conversation, it's really sad. This is what the guys always do.
We've gone past people simply not being humble. Now they sneak in compliments to themselves without even being asked.
Yep. I mean, listen, guys, we talk about the city of Chicago, and I mentioned the Derrick Rose thing earlier, and we talk about being big. When Michael Jordan got to Chicago, let's not forget who owned that city. And Walter Payton, man, he ran that city, man. Walter Payton and the Chicago Bears were the city of Chicago. I'm not a big hockey guy. I understand the Blackhawks were a really good team and stuff, so I'm not saying that they weren't as significant, but it was the Bears, man. The Bears and Walter Payton. He was the man. So when Michael Jordan came into the city of Chicago, think about the shoes that you're trying to follow behind. Walter Payton, one of the greatest human beings, not just athletes, in the history of the world, man.
So I want to look at some of those rebounds from 2020 if you're game.
Yes. Absolutely.
John G says, Freebounder.
Freebounder.
And Jerome says, Charles Oakley can out-rebound LeBron. Yeah, LeBron doesn't want anything to do with Oakley down low. We got another super from Roland Curtis. Thanks, everybody. It's a nice super chat day.
Yep.
I called your show to remind us not only did MJ retire and LeBron get drafted in 2003, but Kobe had a class 3 felony carrying a possible life sentence. So LeBron looked like a hero in case Kobe was done. Yeah, the NBA was facing a lot at once. This is true.
Yeah, you had that going on. Like you said, NBA was trying to go after guys like Allen Iverson and the dress code and, the hip hop and the braids and the tattoos and, some of the things that Allen Iverson was bringing to the NBA. So, yeah, there was a lot of things going on in the NBA. Like there was a transition time. Michael Jordan's gone now for good. And like you said, Michael Jordan, to this day, guys, Michael Jordan is still the only MVP to retire after winning that MVP. No other player in NBA's history retires after winning an MVP. Think about that. The person who most people recognize as the greatest player of all time was forced to retire after winning an MVP. I mean, my goodness.
A Light in the Dark says, Paul also said that he was a better scorer than Kobe or MJ. So there's that.
Yep.
Yep. I'm not sure why anyone listens to any of these people, because I swear I've also heard Paul Pierce say it's not even close and that Jordan is his GOAT. I don't, these guys change so often. Speaking of flip-flopping, capitulating bitches, Stephen A. Smith.
That was a great segue.
Was Stephen A. Smith the first person to blurt out the absurdity that the 2020 championship may have been the hardest? I know he said it, but was he the first?
I don't know if he was the first. That's actually a great one, because I remember, like you said, a bunch of people. I remember LeBron James saying it. Some of these guys were actually trying to say that. But remember, Steven Adams put that to rest. Steven Adams made it very clear about how living in a resort isn't that bad, and these people need to stop acting like they were living in barracks in a war zone.
It was the perfect atmosphere for LeBron James, who does not like pressure.
Yep. Exactly.
And who won't go home to his family. Didn't he say something like he felt like he was doing a dime because he didn't get to go see his family? That's also offensive. Pretend like you know what it's like to be incarcerated.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's a great point. Anyways, like I said, that's called lacking self-awareness, not understanding understanding reality, and like I said, having an understanding of the world. That's why I say a lot of these weird LeBron James fans, they have really no perspective, not only on the NBA because they haven't been around to watch it for that long, but they have no life perspective. So when I'm hitting you with facts and you're mentioning stuff like this AOH about LeBron James, and we talk about the stuff that he does, they don't really understand or get this kind of stuff.
So Beer and Joints is from Bulgaria? Is that the currency that I'm reading? Bulgaria? Bernard King is a much better scorer then Pierce. Okay, with that, let's get to the rebounding. And I don't think
King.
I've got these very, very short audio clips, so I don't think I'm going to get copyrighted. I'm gonna do a little walk through 1989 again for a few seconds, and then we're going to get to the rebounding.
Let's do it.
In the city, ladies look pretty. Guys tell jokes so they can seem witty. Tell a funny joke just to get some play. Then you try to make a move and she says no way.
The hell up. The right stuff.
The right stuff.
Right.
I dig it.
Henry.
Fucking MJ. The other MJ.
Remember, Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson did a video.
Yeah. All right, so rebounds, game 3.
Ha ha!
This shit doesn't even seem possible.
I was watching that video, man. That short that you put out, that is laughable. Like you said, that's the finals.
Oh boy.
And they tell me Michael Jordan didn't play against nobody.
My God, LeBron James wide open with the exception of Anthony Davis. Way to get that rebound from your teammate.
Oh, I got to remove the audio from it. We don't need my audio. I don't think we need. We'll be talking about it plenty. You know, but the fact that it's the finals reiterates the fact that this, if we were playing like this, we'd get benched. And this is 10 NBA players playing the way that we would have been benched. And this is not just the NBA. This is the ultimate battle at the end of the season. Oh boy. So there's, you know, who's LeBron guarding? Look at his effort. Good God.
Oh, hey, wait, pause it real quick. I just want to say something before I forget. You know, on the live streams, a lot of times we talked about how much running the players are doing versus how they did in the past, right? And they'll keep telling us that the guys are getting hurt more because they're doing more running, right? Oh, they're running more. And McZuggins hit us with the information. The reason why they're actually getting hurt more is because they're not training right. They're not practicing hard. They're doing a lot of this, not doing anything, and then moving fast on the way they play the game. Look at on the court right now. I tell you guys back in the day, the players played from baseline to baseline. Well, you guys know where the baseline is, right? That's where the baseline is, right there. Do you see anybody on the Miami Heat anywhere near the damn baseline? No one's near the baseline. So they all stopped on the three-point line. They run from three-point line to three-point line. Look at, no one even went down low for a freaking rebound. The guy's chucking up a three, and no one even tried to get a rebound. Yeah, we see Kelly Olynyk put 1 foot in the paint. Good for Kelly Olynyk.
Maybe they're injuring themselves because they're catching rebounds at their feet. Oh, speaking of Kelly.
But this is whatever.
And there's LeBron playing that ferocious defense again. Now, did Butler get pushed in the back? But either way, his hands aren't even above his head. Like, does Butler even care?
You know what's funny, man? When you watch Kelly Olynyk dribble the ball up, this is a classic case of what I'm always talking about. Guys who think they're skilled because they play in this era of NBA that are not skilled to do this. Kelly Olynyk got no business dribbling the ball ever in these scenarios in an NBA Finals, but there he is bringing the ball up and goofing it up.
Well, the entire team was injured. He may have been their next best point guard at that point.
The most skilled era.
Okay, so I see 4 Lakers in this still frame. I see 5 Heat players. I wonder who's missing.
Once again, LeBron James never wide open.
Yay, there's LeBron.
Finals.
Thanks for joining after the shot has gone up. And just blows my mind. This is what I said in the short, and I don't mind being redundant because this is just insane. He did not play defense. He barely got across half court, and yet he's going to get the defensive rebound going past everyone. He goes past 9 NBA players. It bounces off the rim 3 times, and not one of those 9 other people comes close to getting the board over him.
You know, I want to say, anyways, pause it again real quick. I want to say something else, man, that I just thought about. You know, when they talk about the skills of these guys, and listen, these are professional basketball players, man. Once again, I'm not saying that I'm better than them. I could play in the NBA today. I never said that once. I respect those guys enough to never talk crazy like that. But when they promote these guys as being more skilled than the guys that I grew up watching, and the reason why I say the guys that I grew up watching, what I remember, and I'm sure a lot of you guys remember this too, back in the days when professional basketball players were left wide open like that, more often than not, what I remember is these guys would make those open shots. I'm not saying that they were always open for a 3 or something like that, but a lot of times that these guys were open for a shot like that, like, oh, damn, so-and-so's open. Even if it's a role guy, a bench dude, whoever it is, these guys are going to knock these open shots down because they were professionals. Now, today, we see a lot of these guys getting open looks, and they'll go out there and miss 10 threes, and a lot of them will be wide open. Tyler Hero was wide open in that moment, and I'm not saying he should have made that shot or I would have made that shot. But when you are one of the 3-point shooters in the league, which Tyler Hero is, and you're the most skilled arrow of all time, I'm telling you guys right now, the feeling that I have is that the guys made open shots back in the day more often than the guys make open shots today.
Just reading a couple of chats. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Do I need to? I mean, after seeing that, is the
no, but like you said, it's laughable that this is the finals. And you know what, AOH, why is it laughable? Like I said, I'm not saying that the guys that I grew up watching or other eras were perfect. They never had easy rebounds or they didn't carry with the ball or travel. We're talking about the consistency of which this is going on. And like I said, when you are talking about these guys, the effort and how these guys are playing, like I said, it's lacking versus the other eras. When you talk about this stuff, when they talk about the highest level of NBA play, this is what's going on.
You know, maybe we'll mix it up. Maybe I'll take a pause from this because I'm depressing myself.
Like, what's number 28 doing? I don't know who that is. Who is that? Freedom for World? I don't even know that. Solve World Hunger? That was when everybody had different jersey names on the back. So I don't know, what that says on the back there. But that person, what was he trying to? He wasn't even trying to make an effort for a rebound. And that's what I'm saying. Offensive rebounding requires a lot of effort. That's what makes what Moses Malone or Dennis Rodman, some of these great offensive rebounders, Charles Barkley, that's what makes what they did so much greater. Because offensive rebounding requires a lot of effort. What the hell is Jimmy Butler doing? Goodness gracious, man. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, man. This is supposed to be the highest level. Remember, they're telling us the bubble was the hardest championship ever won.
You shouldn't see this in any game. Any game. You shouldn't see this in preseason.
You're telling me that Jerry West was going against harder or easier competition than this? The hell he was.
So I put the call-in link up if you want to call in real quick, Dallas. We'll mix things up a little bit. And I see another super. I better get to this super here. How often do we see players standing flat-footed with straight knees? Really fucking often. You never used to see that. What happened to suicides until you wanted to die? Yeah.
Yep.
Good point. Good point. And by the way, speaking of, oh God, it never ends with today's NBA. Kevin Durant with a comment about defense is easy. Anybody can bend their knees.
Oh, I'm making a video on that tomorrow. I am.
Oh boy.
I wrote those comments down word for word. Kevin Durant, my man. This is coming from a guy who never made an all defensive team. He's talking about defense. Dude, shut your mouth. You know nothing about defense because you was never that dude.
Uncut, where are you? Uncut, are you here? Uncut, there's your next video, sir.
Yep. That's a good point. Uncut Hoops, man. Shout out to Uncut Hoops. Definitely needs to do a video on those comments because that's craziness. This is what we're talking about. These guys don't care. If Kevin Durant actually played against 90s era defense, some kind of physical style of defense, even the early 2000s defense, he would struggle, man. He would be in for a rude awakening. So he could talk all he wants about defense don't matter like that. It's about putting the ball in the hole. How you gonna put the ball in the hole when dudes is on you? When dudes is making you really earn it? When they're putting bodies on you? When they're making you think in your mind, do I want to go in there and get hit again? People could clown these guys all they want as just guys that were brutes or guys that just beat up people. Nah, man, that's called intimidation. That's called making you think about it. That's making you earn it. Yeah, Kevin Durant said he was the bus driver. He was the wheels. He was the axle. He was the engine. He said he did everything for the Warriors in 2017-18. When they tried to say he wasn't a bus driver, he was a bus rider. He came out and made some comments about that, about Charles Barkley's comments. He said he did everything for the Warriors. He did everything. He was the brakes. He was the wiper fluid. He was everything for the Warriors. He was so much for the Warriors that they won 2 championships without him on the team.
You know what I'm going to put up, which we said we were going to start doing, is a few more minutes of watching old NBA that would go viral today.
Yes.
And let's skip past. We did.
Oh, Rod Strickland. Shake and bake. Oh, my goodness. Oh, 1 foot. Oh,
Larry.
The legend. Larry Legend.
With no time on the clock.
Off the left foot. Do you see Larry Bird doing a whole bunch of weird handshakes? Ooh, that was nice. That was nice. See, Darius Miles, man, he had some flash, but he was like a Stacey Augman. He just never developed. Those are the kind of guys I was talking. They were drafting those kind of guys. That was Weber. Oh, that was Dallenberg. Samuel Dallin. Look at Weber going through the legs. Yo, shout out to Chris Webber, man. Underrated passer at that position. Oh, got him. Shake and bake. Shake and bake. Antonio Daniels. Yeah, see, that's AI right there. See, that's called iconic right there. Boom.
Oh,
got him.
Goodness.
So Gilbert Arenas just standing there looking like a goof. Oh, nice play right there. Look at Ty Lue. Look at Ty Lue. That's crazy. With LeBron James right there. Then he would coach his team later. That's so funny. Oh, Gerald Green. Yes, I was about to say, is that Gerald Green? Because you know Gerald Green got some bounce, kid. Gerald Green got the crazy bounce. Shout out to Gerald Green, man. One of the elite dunkers in the history of the game, man. And he made it look effortless.
Oh.
Big Ben. Big Ben. But they talking about Rudy Gobert in this era. Come on, man. Rudy Gobert ain't doing nothing like this against Shaq. Oh, it's going to get ugly. Yeah, I'm about to say it's going to get ugly. I saw Charles there. It's going to get ugly. That's young Charles right there. Young Charles. AC Green. They got the way, AC Green.
Charles punished the rim right there.
Yeah, I love the dunks by Charles, man.
Ooh.
Hakeem. That's called hustle right there. You see what that's called? That's called effort.
And
that's
grace.
Called effort. That's called championship winning play. Ooh, that was Anthony Peeler trying to get up on Mourning. You know why Alonzo Mourning ended up on posters a lot? Because he challenged dudes. That's why. Much respect to Alonzo.
You know how many of these dudes stayed on their feet after these? Like they look like they're about to fall down and they stay on their feet?
Yep.
How long could we go talking about how different it is today just on that? Where the guys make sure that they fall down even when they don't need to.
That's a great point, AOH, man. We've talked about that. We've touched on that. How guys just throw themselves down. And oftentimes, them trying to draw a foul or flop or land weird is what's really hurting them. Like you said, these guys knew how to land. They were athletes. They landed like athletic people. There's a way to land in sports. You guys know that.
Light in the Dark wants to shout out Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Word, Earl the Pearl Monroe had skills. Imagine Earl the Pearl's overall game in this era with the freedom of movement. He was doing this stuff with guys who can put hands on you and do all this stuff to you. And these guys were still able to have all these moves.
Eddie must be talking about Darius Miles when he says LeBron got him traded off the Cavs. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah. Uncle?
Yeah, shout out to TV again, man. For real, man. Darius Miles, Like I said, he was another guy who just never really developed like that. He had some potential, but he never really could put it together and do something with it. Like I said, almost like a Stacey Augmon type of play to me. When you think about Stacey Augmon in the 90s or the Plastic Man, he was a very athletic wing, a guy who came as a high flyer, a slasher, but he just never really developed an overall game like that.
I just took a close look at Uncle Rico's Revenge picture. So we got it's from Napoleon Dynamite. I was just thinking this guy's like the Midwest high school quarterback version of today's LeBron James, sitting there telling everybody what could have happened, what might have happened. I bet you I could throw it over those mountains. Dallas is here. All right. Let's switch it up with a phone call here. Well, hello.
It's good.
What's happening, fellas? What's happening?
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you guys too. I had to come on. I've been watching from afar because I just been busy, but it's definitely good to see you guys, man. Keep doing your thing for sure. But man, the streets is wild out here, y'all. The streets are wild. So
where are you again?
I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Tell us.
Yeah, the streets is wild in the sense of just the basketball world. So a couple of things. For one, what really got me triggered was that Paul Pierce interview.
Yup.
It pissed me off so bad, man, because I'm watching. I'm like, damn, how many times you gonna ask this man about LeBron James? God damn, like, like I'm like, can we talk about Paul Pierce? Paul Pierce was a dog, man. Like when you think about how he came into the league, he was good pretty much from the beginning. But instead of you focusing in on that, all you're talking about is every time you matched up against LeBron. I'm like, God, come on, man. Like, can we stop now? Like, it just pisses me off. And then the second part about it is it's just the NBA period. Just what the narratives that they're trying to get us excited about coming into the season. Like I'm like the narratives is like you trying to get me excited about Kevin Durant in Houston. We all know Kevin Durant probably gonna play maybe 60 games. They don't have a point guard. He's you know when times get tough and they get physical, he's gonna just shoot jump shots. So you know what that's gonna look like. You trying to sell us on this bum ass Lakers squad? Like who the hell want to watch Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic's backcourt? With I mean that team, the roster looks whack as shit. When you look at the roster when they put it on the TV and all these media outlets are trying to sell you on they're gonna be all right this year, I'm like, man, nobody wants to watch that. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, and then I can't even take dudes serious because the outfits they be having on the bench. I'm looking at OKC the other day. I'm looking at what's dude name? What's the second best player on their team's name? I can't remember his name right now.
Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams. So I'm looking at Jalen Williams on the bench. He got a damn Snuggie on with boots. I'm like, I can't take you, dude, serious, man. And then it's like the hair. It's like, yo, you can't tell me hair doesn't get in your eyes if you have the hair flopping over your head. I'm all for you. I'm all for you wearing your hair, loving your hair. I'm all for that. But I'm like, I can't take you serious. It's like going to play pickup basketball and the dude come on the basketball court, you got jean shorts on. You like, man, I don't even know if I want to play with you because you got jean shorts on.
Hell
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It's like the whole league is like that right now. It's like everybody looks like my player. I don't know if y'all play 2K, but everybody looks like my players. And it's whack, man. It's like the only reason I'm watching right now is in hopes of seeing this one player that comes in that just changes the whole thing. And I just don't know if that's gonna happen. But I'm like, that's the only thing that has me tied into the game right now because there's nobody I watch that even with OKC, right? SG they talking about SGA. I would like to see SGA without him pushing off. He pushes off on every single shot. And he gets and then he gets the call. So if you play him aggressive, you're gonna foul out. You know what I mean? Same thing with Jokic. I want to like Jokic, but it's like y'all allow him to play physical, but you don't allow the defender to guard him physically, so we don't really know how good he is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like it it
Yep.
it makes me mad because when we watched in the '90s and we all love Jordan, and people think we just love Jordan. It's not about just loving Jordan. It's about the fact that his contemporaries were so competitive and good. He had to be that much better to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like Charles, but all their team, they had so much pride in trying to win that it wasn't about just Michael Jordan. You wanted them to win too. You wasn't like when Michael didn't win, you didn't have nothing to watch. You
Yep.
you didn't mind watching Detroit. You didn't mind watching Philly. You
Yep.
didn't mind watching all these teams. But now it's gotten to the point where it's like, if you don't win,
Yep.
if you don't win a championship, then they just write you off. And it's not about that. You're supposed to win the championship, but you're supposed to compete too. We're gonna respect you if you compete. Even if you don't win, if you compete and we see that you were out there and you just got beat by the better team or they just made the better play,
Yep.
we cool with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just for me, it just pisses me off, man. And then LeBron is just like the fact that they keep with the narrative. I'm like, it's 23. Come on, man. It's 23 years. Like at the end of the day, you can't keep getting credit if you're not winning.
Yep.
When do we start doing that? When do we start giving you credit for just playing? You're
Or
supposed
as
to get
Marcel
credit because you win.
Yep.
or Marcellus with the latest, trying
Yep.
to make empty stats be meaningful. And then if you point out that he's losing, then he claims that everyone who doesn't win the championship, it basically is a loser. It's just amazing, the shit that we hear. By the way, is this what you're talking about, or is his outfit get worse than that one?
Oh, that's another. I ain't even seen that.
Oh my
I had
goodness.
a bad feeling that it wouldn't even be there.
It gets worse than that. Yo, that's crazy right now.
Yeah,
Yo,
man.
Did you see
yo,
them last
Dallas.
year? They came out wearing Halloween costumes, and it wasn't Halloween.
Yo, you made a
And you know
bunch
what's
of great
crazy,
points.
guys? What's crazy is I don't. It's like I understand we're in a new age. I want the kid. I'm like this. Y'all can have fun. That's cool, but it's just I don't know, man. It's just it's weird, man. It's like I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just I don't know, man. It's like when in the '90s and whatnot, when they used to wear suits and stuff. They did that because they were like, we grown now. We in the
Right.
league. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? We make good
mm.
money now. We grown. We you know what I'm saying? We'll wear our stuff, but right now we grown. I ain't saying they got to do that. I'm just saying that it's just a different vibe. It's like the league, as somebody said it before. It's a social media league. The
Yeah.
NBA has the best social media presence.
Yep.
So everything has been based off of that. Like if you can make, that's why LeBron is still around because if they keep talking about him, he's going to continue releasing liquors and got a little diamond tooth in his mouth now and all this crazy ass shit. Man, I don't know, man, but that's all. Man. I just had to rant a little bit, man. I thank y'all for letting me spew a little venom, but
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Cool.
for sure,
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yo,
no doubt about it.
that was great stuff right there, Dallas, man. When you mentioned someone coming to the basketball court in jean shorts and not taking them serious, man, that had me thinking and had me laughing because it made me think about a time at a family barbecue that we had at my parents' house some years back, man. And it was me and my brothers there, and like we always get into a basketball game whenever we have these family barbecues. Always a basketball game, always breaks out. And usually we do 3-on-3, right? We have a little half court thing going on. We do a 3-on-3. So it's 4 of my brothers. So usually my 3 of my younger brothers will be on the team, and I'll grab, maybe a couple of my cousins, whoever's out there that wants to run. I'll play against my brothers. So this guy comes out. He was my brother's wife. It was her family, right? So he's like our in-laws, right? So this dude comes over to the court. He never played basketball with us. He don't know we take this stuff serious, man. We're gonna go out there and compete, man. We're gonna be out there getting scraped up out there on the blacktop. So he came out there with some slippers on. So he said he wanted to play. So we looked at him and we said, yeah, all right, man. We started laughing at him and we wouldn't give him the ball. So he started getting mad at us. He's like, yo, man, I'm serious. I'm going to play. And we said, listen, man, you ain't playing out here with slippers on, dude. Go get some sneakers, man. So he started to get an attitude. So we said, you know what? We're going to let you play, man. And I said to him 2 things. Number 1, if you get hurt, you hurt your ankle or whatever, I don't want to hear it. Don't come crying to us. And I said, number 2, you start getting your ass busted out here. I don't want to hear no excuses. I got slippers on, my man. You brought your ass out here. So whatever happens to you, don't be crying. So what proceeds to happen? We played 3-on-3. It's me, him, and another dude versus my brothers. So my brother starts busting this cat down. They start talking trash to each other. And what does he go to? I'm in slippers, man. I'm in slippers. I'm in slippers. So we left and we said, listen, I told you. He was on my team. I said, I don't want to hear this crap from your mouth, dude. You on the court with your slippers. We told you gonna lace them up. You want to make a big deal? And you get your ass busted. Don't start crying, dude. He went and got his sneakers on. And he still got his ass busted.
When did this slipper thing start exactly? I know it's been several years, but what is this shit?
Oh,
Everybody
man.
showing up to the basketball courts in slippers and like, are you trying to be cool by being nonchalant, or is this young foot therapy? You guys need foot therapy before you go on the court and don't run. I mean, it was so simple.
Dude said they be putting their Crocs in sport mode. There is no such thing.
No,
Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all
No.
what it is, and I'll hop off after this. Let y'all do y'all thing. AOH, this is what it is. I realized what it is, man. Because I actually work with kids in art programs and things of that nature. And this generation, they don't never want to look like they're trying too hard.
Exactly.
So even in basketball, it's like I gotta look like I can beat you even with Crocs on. You know what I mean? It's like that whole attitude. So it's
That's
like
exactly
that's the
right.
whole thing that you're up against when you're
What do you
talking
say to
about
that?
sports now.
What do you say? What do you say to that?
It's all you can say is my thing that I'm realizing now is that trying to get kids to recognize that, yo, you need to see what you're not being able to see what your potential is. You can't you're satisfied with just being okay with being able to like it's one thing to have fun. You're like, okay, I'm enjoying this. You know you enjoy this now. Now let's see what the potential of this is for you. Like even with basketball, okay, it's fun for you to play in Crocs and see that you can still kind of play, right? Okay, if that's the case, then let's see how far you can push that and see where you can take it is. That's the only thing I can see is to try to convince them to try to see what their potential is in it. You know what I mean?
Well, in the short term, there's cowardly comfort in, hey, I didn't give it my all, but
Yeah.
it's going to come back to haunt you because
Yeah.
years later, that's not what's going to feel good. You're going to wish that you did give it all. And if you were capable, you were, and if you weren't, you weren't. But like the fact that you never actually gave it your all's what's going to eat you up inside.
That's it.
Yo, man, we talking about ballers, man. People that play basketball, that go out there in the blacktop, go out there in the courts. You guys know, yeah, you might show up to the court in some slippers. You might show up to the court in sneakers you're not going to play in. I've done that many times, man. I'm going to a court, an indoor court especially. I'm not going to always wear my sneakers that I'm wearing on the court indoors when I'm outside, especially if it's bad weather, it's raining or something like that. I'm not going to wear my sneakers to the court. I'm going to put them on when I get to the gym. So I get all of that stuff. You made a great point, Dallas, because you hit it on the head. What it really is about, when that guy came to the barbecue, he never played ball with us. Like I said, he didn't take us seriously. He thought it was a joke out there. That's why I warned him. I said, listen, my man, I'm telling you right now, we are going to ball out here. I'm not saying that we're NBA level. I'm not talking about the level that we're playing at. I'm talking about the effort that we're giving, man. We ain't lollygagging out here. You're going to get hurt playing out here in slippers, man. But you want to be ignorant, so you run the money. It's about the arrogance of a lot of these guys. They think they're so good. They downplay playing basketball. I could play in Crocs. I could play in slippers and all this other weird stuff. Man, you better lace them up, fool.
Right.
So we got some supers to read. Got a couple of callers waiting. Dallas, call back in later if you want to, but it's good to see you.
Yeah. I'm trying to hop off out. This is a new
Yeah,
I don't know what this console.
It's my cheap shit.
I'm trying to get off, and I was like,
the
how do I get
AOH
off
special.
I'm locked in. I'm
AOH
locked
bargain.
in, OH. I can't even. Hold on. Let me see something. Let me just go back.
People can't even. This platform's so bad, people can't even leave.
That's great.
Oh, Fung Pei says, quotes JJ. I love it because I was thinking about this the other day. It's so awkward. It's got great soul.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. And Uncle Rico comes back with another super saying, go watch Game 7 of the 81 ECF. Best game ever. Today's soft fools would have flopped out of the game by half.
Yep.
Good idea. I'll go watch that. Roland Curtis, you've been waiting a while for your patience, and you're here. You have to unmute yourself, or I'll try it. Light in the dark.
Can I do it or no?
Earl, we already said that. Are you there?
Roland, can you hear us? How do we unmute him? Did I mute him? Did we mute him or?
He should be able to do it.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I wanted to ask you guys a
Thank you
question.
for all the support, man.
For sure. I wanted to ask you guys a question, but before I wanted to make a comment, I think both of you guys, AOH and Sports and Fitness Rants, you both have mentioned that Michael Jordan accomplished so many things that a lot of them are like, you can't really focus on them because they're so much smaller than everything that Michael Jordan is, which is kind of different from other people like LeBron James. And just, for LeBron James, they always magnify the all-time scoring record and that he's played 22, 23 years, stuff like that, one thing that people don't mention is that, when Wilt Chamberlain retired in 1973, he retired with the highest points per game average up to that time, which was 30 points and 30.07 points per game. But when Jordan retired in 93, he retired with the highest points per game average. So that was a 20-year record that stood, and we don't even talk about it because it's nothing for Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan retired with a 32.3 points per game average, and it's like nothing because it's so small for everything that Michael Jordan is, and that leads me to another conversation you guys had about. I think you guys touched on it about what did the Wizard years do to Michael Jordan. I agree with you guys that it didn't really diminish. It didn't diminish his legacy, but I always feel that they used, whether it's Shannon Sharp and others, if it wasn't for those Wizard years, they wouldn't have anything really to talk about. But they used that as like a hammer to kind of knock Michael Jordan. And I do agree that without those Wizard years, Michael Jordan looked like a deity. Like it looked like he was on God mode. And for the first time, we saw Michael Jordan look human in those Wizard years because he was old. But he still had flashes of his godhood when he pinned the layups to the backboard with two hands and stuff like that. But that kind of gave them, that kind of kicked the door open a little bit. But one thing I wanted to mention was that when Jordan retired, when he came back out of retirement in '93, when he came out of retirement in '95, and he played those 3 years, uh, and his points per game average did go down again. It went down from 32.3, and then '98 he retired with 31.5. But the difference was that he did do a lot of other things, like he compensated for that the decrease in points per game average. He won 3 more championships. He won 2 more regular season MVPs. He won 3 more scoring championships. He won 3 more NBA Finals MVPs. He was again 3 times all NBA first team. He was again 3 times all NBA defensive. So that made up for his points per game average going down. But when he retired in '98 and then he came back with the Wizards, his points per game average goes down again. But this time he doesn't get any of those accolades. So that's what kind of I think made people see, that's Michael Jordan isn't invincible, because he didn't win any scoring championships, he didn't win any MVPs, he didn't win any Finals MVPs, he wasn't All NBA first team, he wasn't All Defensive first team, he didn't win the scoring titles, but but that shows you how great he was because even though his points per game average goes down again, it still doesn't go down below Wilt Chamberlain. He's still the highest points per game scorer of all time at 30.12. So that's something that you can always hang your hat on for Michael Jordan. And I didn't get a chance to see Robin. I didn't get a chance to see your debate with Carcino as far as the greatest team of all time. But I do say, in terms of statistics, the 95-96 Bulls team looks pretty good. Obviously we know about the 72-10 record in regular season. They won the championship. I don't know. People don't really talk about that. They had the best overall combined record in terms of regular season and playoffs at 87-13. Obviously, we know that Michael Jordan won the regular season most valuable player. He won the Finals MVP. He won the All Star MVP. He won the scoring championship. He was All NBA first team, All NBA defensive first team. Scottie Pippen was All NBA first team. He was also NBA All Defensive first team. Dennis Rodman was also NBA All Defensive first team, and he won the NBA rebounding championship. Tony Kukoc was the NBA Sixth Man of the Year. Phil Jackson was the Coach of the Year, and Jerry Krause was the NBA Executive of the Year. So I don't know if the Detroit Pistons in '89 or whatever was able to accomplish all those things. I doubt it, but I know a lot of people just like to look at the on the court play and then and judge that by. But in terms of just accomplishments and accolades, I don't think another team's ever swept from top to bottom, from executive of the year to sixth man of the year. You know, um, and then I just want to leave you guys with this question before I go. So we know there's an minimum age of 19 to enter the NBA, right? And I think you have to be at least a year removed from high school. And what do you guys think about, should the NBA set a maximum age to force certain guys into retirement? Because it's not only LeBron James, but I remember Udonis Haslam. He was active, but they had him as like a on the bench. It's like a motivator. So he wasn't really playing, but he was just like some kind of mascot or something. And then Vince Carter, he would have probably kept playing if it wasn't for the pandemic. And Robert Parrish playing in 1997 with the Bulls was kind of sad because he looked like he was too old to play, but he was still out there. I don't know if he was playing for money or if he was playing just to win more championships. But and then you guys also remember Shaq's last years in the NBA was pretty sad. So I wanted to ask you guys before I go, just do you think that there should be a maximum age limit to sports, especially the NBA? And if you do think that, what age do you think that should be? And
Thank you, Roland. Oh, I thought he was I think he was rapping. Yeah, I'm going to say no. I don't. I don't want to take decisions out. It's like big government and small government. Make a smart decision as a franchise. If your player shouldn't be on the floor and if you shouldn't be paying him, then I mean, I know it sounds like you're trying to step in and solve bad decision making. Well, what's leading to that bad decision making? Like there's a bigger issue going on that needs to be solved if teams are willfully making bad decisions. Something else is wrong. They either think that player can deliver something for them or there's something shady going on.
Yeah. There's a bunch of things I want to touch on real quickly. I want to run through it because he said a lot of things here. Shout out to Roland Kurtz for coming through. First thing, I'll answer the question. Like you said, I don't believe there should be an age limit if these guys are going to play till 45, 43, 42, 41, 39, 38, whatever. I don't think it really matters as far as the age of them. I think more importantly, like you mentioned, it's really up to these individual players. How do they want to be remembered? How do they want to leave the game? Roland Curtis mentioned Shaquille O'Neal. I think we all can agree that Shaquille O'Neal went out, the way that he ended his career, it was kind of, not up to par. It could have finished a lot better, but why did it not finish that way? A lot of it has to do with Shaquille O'Neal himself, not keeping himself in great physical condition, right? Taking a lot of this stuff for granted. That's what Shaquille O'Neal was basing his game off of, right? His athleticism, his size. When he started to break down and have all these problems, then all of a sudden he became less effective now. He became lazier, and he became a guy that was, like I said, a shell of himself. To me, Michael Jordan on the Wizards was not a shell of himself. No, he was not Air Jordan. It wasn't necessarily Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan. But why was that? It wasn't as if Michael Jordan continuously played till he was 40 years old. Like we mentioned earlier, he was forced, the only MVP in history, forced to retire after the 98 season. So he did not continuously play until 40, which to me would have gave Michael Jordan a much greater chance to be greater or be more like the Chicago Bulls Jordan that late in his career, because he would have had all those years of the consistency. But Michael Jordan went out there, gave the effort. He showed up, right? He had the injury the first year in the Wizards. There was nothing he could do about that. He had to miss the rest of the season. But still to this day, at 40 years old, this man averaged 37 minutes a game, 37 minutes a night, and played all 82 games and gave the effort. He also mentioned the Chicago Bulls. And I just want to say real quick, I didn't mention a team. I didn't even say the 96 Bulls because I told him, I'll make it easy. I'm not even going to pick the second three-peat Bulls because they have Rodman on it and they're going against the 89 Pistons. I said any Bulls team, 91, 92, 93, I said specifically 91, would beat the 89 Pistons. And I said because look at how competitive the series was in 89 when his best teammate was Craig Hodges. So I said, you're telling me he could lose and win 2 games off the 89 Pistons when Craig Hodges is his best teammate, averaging 13 points a game, but he can't beat them with the 91 Bulls with a much improved Scottie Pippen, a much improved Horace Grant, and a much more cohesive team? Come on, stop it.
One thing, I'm sure everybody feels differently about Jordan's Wizards years. You know, the storybook ending obviously might have made him a little bit more of a deity, but there's another way to look at it that some of us probably think was pretty cool, that he clearly was coming back for the love of the game. And maybe he wanted to feel like a mentor to some younger players, because there's no way Michael Jordan doesn't know he's hurting his storybook ending. There's no way he doesn't know that he's tarnishing it on that level. And there's no way he thinks that Wizards team is getting him to the NBA Finals for another ring. You know, and which is very different than what Shaq was doing. Shaq was hopping to teams that were potential contenders and then not even bothering to show up in shape. It's like, I want another ring, but I don't want to work for it, is the taste that Shaq left in our mouth.
Remember Patrick Ewing on the Orlando Magic? And I think the
no,
Seattle
I don't remember
Sonics?
that. I don't remember that.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even remember this stuff. And like I said, there's no disrespect to Patrick Ewing. Everyone knows how I feel, and much respect to Patrick Ewing. But this is what we're talking about. Like, these guys, it's on them to know when to leave and to just walk away and be and remembered for who you were. Even Hakeem Olajuwon played for the Toronto Raptors. A lot of people forget about that at the end of his career. They don't remember this stuff. You know, like I said, just hanging around a little bit.
But you know what coaches are faced with? They started dealing with these divas and like, Jesus, maybe if I bring this old school dude over, he'll help wake them up. Maybe that is why those guys are getting contracts. They're like, shit, we need some leadership here, or just having a different attitude in the locker room. I don't know. It's almost like they're bringing him in as parents.
You know what I remember from Michael Jordan on the Wizards? Let's go right back to that and wrap this up with the Wizards Michael Jordan things. I know some people maybe don't know how to feel about it, right? I'm going to let you know how to feel. I'm going to give you some context and perspective of how you should feel about Michael Jordan. We mentioned earlier the effort he gave, right? Right, 82 games, 37 minutes a night. All right, I want you guys to think about something. What have we seen someone like LeBron James, a lot of these older players look like? We talked about some of these guys bouncing around, chasing rings. Michael Jordan was doing the Wizards. We mentioned LeBron James. What does LeBron James do often? He ducks the smoke, right? I want you guys to think about Michael Jordan at 40 years old and the caliber of players he was going up against at that small forward shooting guard position at that time. We mentioned last live stream about Kevin Garnett for an entire game was guarding Michael Jordan one-on-one. This is in 2003. Kevin Garnett, one of the elite defensive players, the long arm, 6'11", in his physical prime, going against 40-year-old Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan did not ask for sub out. He did not load match on that game. And he went out there and dropped 35 points against Kevin Garnett. They lost the game, but Michael Jordan earned it out there. He went against the Paul Pierces. He went against Kobe Bryant. He went against Tracy McGrady. He went against Ray Allen. He went against Vince Carter. He went against all of the guys that were in front of him at that time. He never hid behind a position. LeBron James said, I'm playing center now. I'm playing this position. Michael Jordan was lacing it up against all of them dudes. So you should feel really, once again, think about Michael Jordan. You should respect Michael Jordan still because he went out there and competed.
We got some supers to catch up on. I've got a caller waiting, but there's one topic though that I have on the list because it was news to me, but it goes along with the other excuses for LeBron James acting like a bitch. And you know, some people say he intentionally lost to Orlando in order to avoid Kobe, which blows my mind. I don't know which one's worse, the way that he lost or losing on purpose. But apparently he may have snubbed the All-Star game this year and done it in the shady way that he did because he felt that Bronny was snubbed from getting included in the skills challenge. This was news to me. Are you aware of this?
I did not hear that. No, I did not.
The entitlement. How the fuck do you think that Bronny James should be in the skills contest.
What skill? Load managing? He load manages in 2 preseason games already.
The 21-year-old needs a break.
And once again, it was one of those things where they said he was out with a sprained ankle and they were doing precautionary. But when he played the game, finished the game, they talked about the game in the post game. No one mentioned LeBron James Jr. spraining his ankle and then potentially having to look at this. He just ended up on the report right before the game. That's typical LeBron James stuff.
So McZuggins is going back to Dallas when he called in. We had player merch to play in. They have player merch to play 2K in. Oh wait, yeah, good point. Here it is. Real Siberia says Dallas nailed it. In the 90s, you respected every team. Yeah, I mean, I certainly didn't expect to see garbage just because it wasn't, the team I'd been planning to watch. I certainly never expected to see the type of bullshit that we see now, no matter who it was.
Like, remember LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were mocking Dirk Nowitzki walking into the finals? They're making fun of one of the great players of their era, a guy that they should respect, Dirk Nowitzki, because he could do what he did to them. Did you ever hear about Karl Malone and John Stockton laughing about Michael Jordan being sick maybe in 97? Michael Jordan got a flu. It's a fake flu. He ain't got no flu. We heard he ate bad pizza. We heard he was hungover. You think that they were thinking that about Michael Jordan? You think they were taking him lightly? Come on, man. LeBron James is a clown for, once again, being a front runner when you're up 2-1.
Uncle Rico can, in fact, still throw the ball over them mountains. Man, it's a shame you didn't win that high school championship. You probably should have with that ability. Thanks for the super.
Shout out to Uncle Rico Revenge.
Let me scroll through some supers. I apologize if I pass any. Let me know if you see any. And then we've got someone named Big Brains, who I'm not familiar with.
I got like 15 more minutes, AOH.
Okay, Big Brains, keep it tight.
Got 15 minutes.
Are you there? I know you've been waiting for a while.
Minutes. Jeez. Hello,
Big Brain.
Big Brain, what up?
Yeah, this is my first time here.
Yes.
I've been watching some of your we've been watching some of your content, AOH, and yeah, it's pretty good. And you can still dunk on him even though he's not playing, which is weird. And like I said in like a comment, I don't know which, but you can still talk about the Lakers, but in a polar opposite light, and you're living in their heads rent free. What was it called? I'm pretty sure you're already aware that LeBron is injured with something called sciatica,
right?
Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I think 93 Zay, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
93 Zay.
Yep.
He basically said that I think steroid use on the glute causes that, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's something.
I think he ruled out that it was a badly aimed stabbing from Diddy, so it must have been a badly aimed injection of steroids.
A badly aimed rejection. Oh my god.
But I did my own sciatica video too, so yeah, I'm aware.
Okay.
It's bullshit.
Of course it is. I mean, anything with Braun, it's bound to be bullshit, like 80% or 90% of the time. And I'm a young guy too, because the first time I watched the NBA is in the 2019 NBA Finals, actually, where my Raptors won. Won it all.
Are you a Toronto person, or do you just like the Raptors?
I mean, it's been my hometown for a while. I moved here like a couple of years ago, so yeah, they've been my hometown, and I've been liking with them. I don't know what the situation is with Brandon Ingram and stuff, but I'm gonna guess they're gonna do fine, at least. And I've been thinking about something with the young guys coming up, like Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Victor Wembanyama, everyone who's been in the draft. I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts with them?
I mean, I'll admit, only been watching highlights in preseason. I'm not going to watch full preseason games, but the highlights of Cooper look like he's got some promise for sure.
Mm.
He looks built to play basketball. Who's the other dude on the Lakers that nobody's talking about? Jamie something.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's a good
Okay.
question.
I haven't
Apparently, he
don't
can
really know either.
play too. What,
listen,
Robin?
yeah.
Robin, who you got your eye on that are rookies that are exciting you?
Well, I think that there's some young players that we should be excited about. And I don't think it has to be necessarily a rookie or a second-year guy. I mean, even the Anthony Edwardses. But you mentioned Victor Wembanyama. And when I think about Victor Wembanyama, I'm nervous for Victor Wembanyama. And I'm hoping that Victor Wembanyama's healthy and that there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with Victor Wembanyama. That's the honest truth, man. I'm 100% honest with that stuff, man. I really hope this kid can play. Because like you said, these are the guys that we're hoping are going to uplift the game. Because someone like Zion Williamson, he was supposed to be one of these guys. And then all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
he's literally one in a
up
million.
in shape. So, when we talk about some of these young players, it's not just the rookies coming in, the Cooper Flags, or Victor Wembanyama. You mentioned Harper. It's the guys that have been in the league 3, 4, 5 years, the SGAs. These are the guys that are supposed to be lifting the game. But unfortunately, like I said, they're out there goofing it up. The Anthony Edwards, the Zion Williamsons. We want to see these guys lift the game up.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe give them more time. Maybe give them more time. We'll see what happens with them, especially SGA with his shenanigans with flopping and some questionable calls I've seen in the NBA Finals.
How old are you,
Yeah.
Big Brain?
I think about 19.
You think
About
about 19?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track. I've just been existing.
No, but
Okay.
you made a good point here, though. When what you're saying, you're 19, 18, 20, whatever the hell you are, man. You young, way younger than us. So what you're talking about in relation to some of these players, look what you're saying about SGA right now. This is not an old head. You're saying this about SGA. So you're one of the people, your demographic, this is how you feel about him. You think that he's getting free throws, he's kind of baiting fouls. Same thing we said about Luka Doncic earlier. You want to watch Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic for the Lakers when they're out there flopping and crying and moaning for fouls all the damn time? Nobody wants to watch this. It has nothing to do with Luka Doncic's skill. We won't deny Luka Doncic's overall skills. The dude's got skills. But we're talking about getting behind people and wanting to watch you on TV. You don't want to watch a lot of this stuff. So it's interesting to hear you talk about SGA that way.
Yeah, and I've been liking Luca as well, even though they're cut from the same cloth as Braun is, like with the complaining and some of the flopping.
Right.
And yeah, yes, he's got skills. He can make you look stupid, even though he's in slow motion.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Yep. Hey, we appreciate the new caller. We appreciate the young guys, and I may have just misled people because I said I all I did was watch highlights, but highlights are misleading. It's like Cooper Flag could have gone 2 for 20, as far as I know, and they only showed me the good plays. But
Right.
so I honestly don't know.
I watched some of Cooper Flag and when he was actually participating with the Olympics last year. Remember, they had him and some of the young kids out there going against the USA squad. So I remember watching a lot of that footage of him out there with some of the USA guys and some of the things that he could do out there. They were putting some of this stuff out there. I was watching some of this tape. I'm not big into college basketball. I like college football is my thing. I'm not really big into college basketball. But what I've seen from Cooper Flag in the preseason, like I said, not just him, some of these other players, it's not just about one individual. It's about the collective for these guys. When we talk about Michael Jordan or the Michael Jordan type players, there is no Michael Jordan. There's no one that's going to do this again. These guys need to be a collective. That's why I said it's not just about Victor Wembanyama, or about Cooper Flag, but it's about Anthony Edwards. It's about Luka Doncic. It's about SGA. It's about Zion Williamson. These are the kinds of guys. It was about a Joel Embiid. He's a young guy, but, they have to lift the game up. And you're right about the highlights, AOH. The highlights are not going to tell you. See, that's why we laugh. When we say we had to watch the games, it's not that we're saying that we watch the games because we're saying that we're better than you or, you don't watch it, you just watch highlights. What we're trying to tell you is that we had to watch the games. There was no basketball reference. There was no laptops and cell phones and all this stuff, computers. People didn't have this stuff. People who had computers, oftentimes, That was rare for you to have a computer in the 90s like that, man. Not
Yeah.
everyone had those things. You didn't have capabilities like this kind of stuff. So in order for you to talk about the game, for you to know who these guys were, in order for you to know who someone like Kendall Gill was, or Muggsy Bogues, right? Or someone like I mentioned before, Stacey Augmon, Billy Owens, right? Larry Johnson, some of these guys that played in the 90s, you have to actually watch the game to talk about this stuff because there was no other way for you to consume the game. Now, these guys only care about the highlights. So like you mentioned, Airways, they don't really necessarily know the players or the game. They'll watch an old clip of the 60s and laugh at Bob Cousy, right? They'll watch a clip of the 90s and laugh at Michael Jordan's competition. They'll look at this white dude guarding Jordan who's 6'5" or something. This is what they do. It's weird stuff.
I was just thinking the Lakers are going to be hard to watch. When Luka got there, I said 2 LeBrons, 1 cup, but I wasn't even counting the what do they call him? The hillbilly Mamba Reeves. That's 3 LeBrons, 1 cup.
3 LeBrons, yup.
My God.
No, you're right. And they're all out there crying and moaning.
But we do have something to look forward to this season, and that is Kevin Durant showing everyone how to play defense because it's easy.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to go in on Kevin Durant tomorrow morning. Once again, man, shout out to all you guys, man. I think it's time for me to roll up out of here. Like I said, it's been a great day. AOH, my man. Once again, it's been a pleasure doing another live with you. I'm loving this stuff, man. Thank you to all the guys that came through again. Like I said, man, the usual suspects. Any new people, like I said, we had a new caller come in. Anyone who's newly subscribed or first came down to the live stream, thank you very much. I hope you guys have to enjoy the rest of your Sunday, man. And you guys know the deal, man. Catch you guys on the next one.
I'm going to read 2 more supers. You can go.
No, go ahead. I'll stay here for the read.
Okay. So
I just want to get that out, man.
Sure. I've got Bulgaria on the screen. Well, I didn't confirm, but I think it's our Bulgarian friend. I was a fan of Luka Doncic when he played for Real Madrid. The NBA turned him into a flopper. Well, I'm not letting anyone blame someone else for how they behave, but yes, his complaining really is a shame because obviously he's a very capable basketball player. I just wish didn't always have to have an asterisk next to it due to stupid behavior shit.
Hold on. That I'm about to go for 10 minutes on that. That was amazing. That was amazing. I can't believe Beer and Joyce came with that right now, man. When I said we were about to bounce, man, that was amazing because the irony behind that comment is absolutely on the money when you think about what he said. He said that the NBA turned him into a flopper. How many of us know back in the day, the 80s, the 90s, these other eras, it was some of the European players, they were the soft ones. They were the floppers. I mention this all the time. Whenever you thought about European people, you thought about Europeans, you thought about soccer, you thought about people who flopped. Soccer players were known for being soft because they were known for being floppers. The Europeans were known, the basketball, for being softer than the Americans and the NBA. We were being known as the tough guys. We were the tough ones. Now we're the soft ones. We're the ones wearing dresses. We're the ones wearing lip gloss. We got our nails painted. We out here wearing, like he said, Eskimo suits. We out here wearing Snuggies, looking like a bunch of weirdos, man. This is what we are now, flying and flopping everywhere. So, like he said, it turned him into a flopper. We the punks now. We the ones wearing baby Bjorns, man. The dudes out here, we're out here riding shotgun while the woman's driving you every damn place. Looking like a soft weirdo, man. Stop going to get your toes done. What's wrong with you fools, man? Go get some calluses on your damn hands. Goodness gracious.
Okay, I'm not even going to add anything. Shit. Where did it go? Sorry, there's one more.
Wearing ankle bracelets and stuff now? Like, what the hell's dudes doing, man? I saw a dude with a toe ring on. Like, you had a toe ring on, man? Are you kidding me right now? That's insane. How you gonna have a toe ring on and a nose ring? That's like crazy to me.
Wait, was he playing basketball?
Out here wearing slippers, sandals with a toe ring on, man. Lost your damn mind. What's wrong with you fools, man? What the hell we doing here?
Isn't the point of the sandals to be comfortable? A toe ring sounds like it would ruin that. Anyway.
Hey, man, stop wearing them damn thong sandals. Go outside and climb a damn tree or something. Go
I was
fall
gonna-
down in the dirt. Go scrape your ankle or your elbow and your knee or something. My goodness.
You should. It's good for you.
Out here making profiles with my face on it and leaving weird comments. Damn it, go do something. I tell them, go outside and get some damn sun. It's insane.
I guess it's a good thing I don't pay attention to anything because I'm sure there's channels making fun of my ass. I so
I'm rambling, man. I gotta go.
I was gonna say you got me. You changed shoes at courts. I only owned one pair of shoes, so I obviously showed up in my basketball shoes because they're the only ones I had.
Goodness gracious, man. I remember when I was in high school, my junior year. I remember I had these cleats, man. I had them for like, I don't know how many years I had these damn football cleats, man. Right? And these cleats were so beat up, the whole side was ripped open, like this, your pinky toe would fall out the side of the shoe if you try to make a cut. I had to use this tape, that athletic tape, to tape around my cleats when I was in high school, man, because my shoes was all jacked up.
We're about to sound like Scottie Pippen.
I wasn't broke growing up. I ain't never saying that though. But damn it, I didn't have I played a bunch of different sports, man, and cleats was getting beat up.
I had to play in the dirt. There was dust everywhere. Fucking bitch. Light in the dark with a super. Thank you, sir, ma'am, whichever the case may be. But MJ bailed out on one leg with the Wizards. He wasn't as athletic, but he was just as effective. Had a couple of 50-point games, correct? Almost took them to the playoffs until knee injury sidelined them. I'm doing a video. It's coming slowly. But I tell you, MJ's effort on defense couldn't be questioned. Sometimes he played the floater. I know I've said this before. But when he played help D, he helped. Big difference at the same age.
Yeah, I mean, think about what Michael Jordan did for Rip Hamilton. Shout out to Rip Hamilton, who's mentioned many times what he learned that first year playing with Michael Jordan. But not just playing. What do we always talk about? Michael Jordan in practice. He said watching Michael Jordan practice helped him immensely. And what ended up happening for Rip Hamilton? He ended up becoming a champion.
Yeah, do you spend any time thinking what might have happened if Rip had stayed on the Wizards instead of Stackhouse coming over?
Or if Kobe came and played with him?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad that didn't happen. And what would the next wave of the Pistons have happened without Rip? Without that trade?
Right, exactly. Like I said, and the things that he learned from Jordan that year, he said he took and carried into Detroit. And that helped, like I said, helped the team and helped him become a champion. So these are the things that we talk about, what Michael Jordan did in practice, his routine, his consistency, the effort, how he went about his business. That's what rubbed up. Those are the residuals that we're talking about when Michael Jordan retired in 93 and they keep telling us about the Bulls in 94. Those are the residuals of Michael Jordan. The standard and the legacy he left in the Chicago Bulls, the winning culture and attitude he developed and showed those guys.
Siberius McSuggins wants to know if you have a toe ring. On that, we're going to end it, gentlemen. Go have a great Sunday. Appreciate the support. Remember to transfer over to Patreon if you're a member. I'm going to phase out my membership on YouTube. Have a good one, Robin.
Yeah, you too, man.